For a lad, if he's going to sit out for that long, I would rather him just vacate and stop holding the division up. But I do want to fight him, you know what I mean? So it's a catch-22.
Islam or Ilia?
Man, I don't know. I think Islam.
For real?
Yeah. Ilia's good. I just reckon the size would be a lot.
Paddy Pimblett fires a stark warning at Ilia Topuria: drop the belt now, or risk letting it shorten your career. Kicking things off, Michael Bisping shared his take on Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett, saying it may not be as straightforward as some expect. He pointed to Gaethje's wrestling, striking polish, and knockout power as real factors, while noting that recent results show even elite fighters can be caught, making it a tougher test than it looks on paper.
Justin Gaethje is a really good wrestler, so he can maybe stop the takedowns. Yeah. We also know that he has beautiful striking and serious knockout power. However, we have got to remember, 2024, what was one of the biggest knockouts? It was Max Holloway flatlining Justin Gaethje, face planting him on the octagon. I'm not saying Paddy can't win. I'm just saying I think it might be a little bit tougher than what you're thinking.
Now moving on to Paddy Pimblett himself, he said he's pushing his birthday plans back with the goal of pairing them with a future world title celebration after UFC 324, staying focused following his win over Justin Gaethje, a clear sign his priorities are firmly on goal. He wrote, "Thank you everybody. For the birthday messages, appreciate them all, but my 31st is on hold until I become a world champion." On the other side of the aisle, Justin Gaethje looks just as locked in. Inside his camp, the focus is clear and the intensity is dialed up, with everything pointing toward a fighter preparing to take over. No noise, no distractions. Back to Paddy. When asked about Alexander Volkanovski, he said that if things line up the right way, it could open a clear path toward a title opportunity, while also stressing he's not eager to fight close friends and would let timing and circumstance decide what comes next.
I think if I win though and he wins and I get upgraded to undisputed champ like you did, it wouldn't surprise me if he thinks that's the perfect opportunity to win the lightweight belt.
We don't want two mates fighting each other.
I don't want to fight Volk, I proper like Volk, but you probably look at it and think that's my best chance to become lightweight champion.
Next, he spoke openly about the situation with Ilia Topuria, saying he'd love the chance to test himself against him, but not at the expense of the division standing still. Paddy explained that while the fight excites him, he doesn't want to be left waiting indefinitely, and feels things should keep moving if delays continue.
For a lad, if he's going to sit out for that long, I would rather him just vacate and stop holding the division up. But I do want to fight him, you know what I mean? So it's a catch-22, but I don't know, lad. I want to beat Ilia up and show everyone that I can beat him, but at the same time, if he's going to have me waiting like Tom was waiting for John, then no. Just vacate, lad, and let the division.
Meanwhile, when asked about Islam versus Ilia, Jack Della Maddalena leaned toward Islam Makhachev, pointing to the size advantage as a key factor. He added that while Islam looks bigger, Ilia Topuria remains dangerous if he keeps it standing, calling it a fight fans really want to see.
Islam or Ilia?
Man, I don't know. I think Islam.
For real?
Yeah. Ilia's good. I just reckon the size would be a lot.
He got bigger. He said he started taking creatine or some shit.
Yeah, he was big. But then again, Ilia he's a heavy puncher, eh? If he can keep it on the feet and land punches, be a good fight. It needs to happen. I think a lot of people want to see that.
When asked how a fight between him and Ilia Topuria might play out, JDM said he backs himself to get the job done, suggesting he sees a finish rather than a long, drawn-out battle.
Ilia?
Yeah, would it go decision or do you think you'd knock him out?
I reckon I'd get him.
Fuck. Or submission.
Yeah, maybe.
On Ilia Topuria, he shared a statement on X addressing the recent noise around his name. He clarified that the situation being discussed is a private family matter and not related to any criminal claims. Topuria pushed back on misleading headlines, stressing the need to protect those involved, especially his child. He ended by expressing confidence that the truth will come out and asking for responsible reporting. Ilia posted a statement on X. Yesterday, a media outlet published a story with a false headline claiming that I had been summoned to testify in a domestic violence case. That headline later had to be changed because it was not true. I have never been summoned to testify for that reason, although I will of course do so willingly if ever required. He explained that public exposure should still have limits. I accept the cost of public exposure, but that does not justify the spread of unverified false information, the distortion of facts, or the disclosure of matters involving a minor who deserves protection. The situation began with a divorce petition filed by me, following weeks of negotiations after our separation. He further added, after I refused to accept certain completely unreasonable financial demands, a complaint alleging abuse was filed weeks later, something I had previously been threatened with, and which is now being reviewed by the courts. Moving on to Tom Aspinall, when asked what should come next after Paddy does the job against Justin, he pointed to a clash between Paddy Pimblett and Ilia Topuria, calling it the biggest fight on the table and suggesting that if Paddy gets the win, that matchup makes the most sense moving forward.
I think it should be Paddy and Ilia.
It should.
I think that's the biggest fight in MMA if Paddy wins, which he will. I think that's the biggest fight in MMA.
Now the attention shifts to Joe Rogan's concern that Tom Aspinall may never fight again. Reacting to that, Michael Bisping shared a cautionary perspective from personal experience. He explained that once serious injuries involve sensitive areas like the eyes, repeated medical intervention can leave lasting effects, making the body more vulnerable and recovery unpredictable.
Joe is absolutely correct, 100% when he says that things can go wrong. My retina was reattached after it was detached against Vitor Belfort, and then it redetached, and then they fixed it again, and then I got glaucoma, because once you start messing around with the eyes, in fact just like any part of your body, once you start going in and messing around with it, it's never the same again, it's never quite as strong, and things can go wrong.
He added that eye injuries can't be rushed, saying he returned too soon himself and suffered lasting consequences. Bisping stressed that Tom needs time to recover and suggested an interim title fight could be announced if he's sidelined for months.
The one thing you can't do with an eye is rush back. That is the one big lesson that I learned, because I did that. I rushed back too soon. I rushed back to sparring. I rushed back to competition, right? And I never saw that eye again. So Tom has got to take his time. And if he's having surgery, he's definitely going to be out for at least a few months. So what are they going to do? I hate to say it, but it wouldn't surprise me if coming up very soon we have an announcement of an interim title fight.
In addition, Paddy Pimblett also took aim at Arman Tsarukyan, questioning his mindset and suggesting he's avoided tougher challenges in favor of favorable matchups. Paddy added that recent fights exposed what he sees as weaknesses, especially on the grappling side.
What about Arman Tsarukyan?
He's just one of them, lad. He thinks because his family have got money and he's been had everything handed to a plate on him for years. Oh, it'll just happen in the UFC. Lad, you're being told, like he fucking pulled out that Islam fight with a bad back, when really he just couldn't make weight. He got offered to fight Gamrot and said no, and then took the most favourable matchup possible, Dan Hooker, who can't grapple, to save his man's life. That's it. And he nearly guillotined him. It just shows how bad Arman's grappling is to me.
Now Artur Tsarukyan stepped in and shut down that narrative, explaining that people wrongly assume Arman grew up with money and an easy path. He made it clear that their background is often misunderstood and added that comparing hardships doesn't reflect the real struggles they faced growing up.
Все думают, что мы там родились в золотой какой-то это. Ну, равняться тем, насколько ты хуже жил, не знаю. Такой.
Many people claim that money is the reason Arman Tsarukyan is still in the sport, but Artur pushed back on that idea. He explained that Arman could live comfortably without fighting, yet chooses to train relentlessly every day because of his goals, discipline, and obsession with becoming the best.
Целый день. Хотя мог бы заниматься другими вещами, да, как комфорт, он сделал все для себя, для своего комфорта, чтобы он жил. И я думаю, что ему уже этого хватает. У него есть цель, у него пояс защитить, такой одержимый.
Moving on, Demetrius Johnson stepped in and reacted to the Arman vs. Sharabullet grappling match, praising it as competitive and entertaining, and pointing out that both fighters showed why they're considered top contenders in their divisions.
Great match. Great fun match, right? I mean, nobody got injured. The crowd was very entertained. Arman was showing, showing why he's the number one contender in the lightweight division. And then you also have, what is he? And then you also have Charlotte, who's potentially the number one contender in his division as well.
He went on to explain that Arman's constant involvement in grappling events, even outside of fight camps, highlights that his motivation isn't financial. Instead, it reflects a deep competitive drive and passion for testing himself, a mindset that is uncommon in today's MMA.
I think it's cool. Like I said, I said this before, but Arman Tsarukyan, he is grappling, competing every weekend like this man is broke, but he's not, right? He just loves to compete, and I think that's something you don't see nowadays in the world of mixed martial arts.
Now moving on to Arman Tsarukyan, when asked why deserving contenders are being sidelined, he said the issue is less about merit and more about business. Arman explained that the UFC is prioritizing marketable champions from key regions, which leaves some top contenders waiting despite clearly earning their spot. He said, well, right now, as you can see, there are a lot of Caucasian fighters, and they've signed a contract with a new platform. Bringing in yet another Caucasian champion at 70 kg isn't very beneficial for them. They need American champions, British champions. He added that those concerns make the UFC more cautious early in the year, explaining that his past withdrawal has led to hesitation about placing him on a major ESPN card. He added, because of that, at the beginning of the year, they put together cards like this. And the fact that I pulled out around this time last year, they're afraid that if I'm on the first card of the tournament, the one on ESPN, right? Yes, that's right now. Over the next couple of months, there's a big risk that I could pull out again, since I already withdrew from a training camp before.
Ну, сейчас, видишь, кавказских бойцов очень много, и они подписали контракт с новой платформой. И привести еще одного кавказца, сделать чемпиона на 70 килограмм, это для них не очень выгодно, потому что им нужны американские чемпионы, англичане. Из-за этого они в начале года именно вот этот карт сделали. И то, что я снялся в прошлом году в это время, и они боятся, что первый карт турнира, что
На ESPN, правильно?
да, вот сейчас на Paramount будет, что риск, что я могу сняться, очень большой, что я уже снимался с боя.
The division is heating up, with Paddy Pimblett pushing for momentum, Ilia Topuria responding off the cage, and Tom Aspinall facing uncertainty. Fans are split between calls for action and patience, but all eyes are locked on what comes next.